All right, Adrian, we have almost 20 participants and it's all lighting up on the chat box. So I'm confident you're going to do great. You're such a seasoned speaker. And I know your passion for Tableau has driven you. And thanks for finding time on this busy day. As a new dad, congratulations. Take it away, sir. It's all yours.
Oh, thank you, Audra, and thank you, everyone, guys. So I'm gonna share my screen, yeah? All right, so. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I mean, what we're gonna start talking today is, I would say, like how we can create like a nice dashboard based on multiple measure dimensions and based on my example of doing the Canada COVID tracker. So as you can see, this is my Tableau profile. You can always like enter here and follow me. I'm following you. I'm following back almost everyone. So feel free to enter. So basically, if you're looking at the dashboard, so this is the dashboard, and as you can see, it's opening quite fast. And just to start the presentation, I mean, for this one, and the idea behind this one was that it was a need to kind of bring in together all the vaccine data and testing and other indicators together, so people can have like a broader view and understanding how this actually is built and how it's done. So as you can see this in the corner, I have the data source where somebody's working on the data and updating on the daily basis, even like multiple times a day. So this is a really nice project that created by some students from I think it's Saskatchewan. So this is like a really nice work here. And from the visualization point of view, you can also like have a really good inspiration how you can do that type of charts and data. Here, as you can see, like all the data is updated basically main on like on an hourly basis. So this is like all the data, it's coming from the official website, the data sources, yeah. And even you have like all the specific details. You can navigate the dashboard, I mean the website as well, for if you want to look for other like information here, like how many hospitalization. And actually this is kind of like pretty neat. I mean, it's even if it's not Tableau, so you can start looking at the numbers and clicking here and there. So it's a really nice web-based programmatical visualizations, and you can take a lot of ideas from this one. And but for my project, so it was like this guy started like at the beginning of March. So I started investigating the data, and I thought like it's gonna be a good idea because Tableau actually it's using Google Sheets for one of his not many automation of the extract refreshes. Yeah, so basically you can find all this information here, and even if you have the possibility, you can connect to the API, to the CSV format, and everything like in the format that you would like to have those data sources, and even connect to this live. Yeah, so I'm gonna open the dashboard right now. So I already downloaded, so you can do the same on your side. Usually like Google, if you're trying to access the data source, so Google will ask you to kind of confirm that which Google user you're going to be using, and also to give like the consent by clicking the allow button. So yeah. Also, why is this a good idea? Because this is actually you can do it like where you can apply this type of ideas. For example, like you can create a project that's gonna be updating a Google Sheets or like text file or something like this on a daily basis, and you connect Tableau to that file. So basically you can work mostly on the data source side, and this file is going to be updated once a day from Tableau. As when we are connecting to this one, let me show what how this connection is looking like. So basically you can see this is all the files I have from that my Google account. Yeah. So basically, it's kind of showing which one should I connect and so on. So I'm selecting one of them. When it's opened, you can see like the files. It's working as like a worksheet. So basically, all the data it's the same, but it's structured for each province. So basically, what I'm doing here, I'm just doing a union, and I'm putting all together one on top of another, like each province. Yeah, even the national one, because we need to also like to have like the total data. What I can add here, just to keep in mind, I mean, there are some limitations. So the limitation is that Google Sheets, from the size-wise perspective, it should be less than 10 megabytes of data, and from the number of rows, it also should be less than 10,000 rows of data. Yeah. So this is how you can combine all your data together. And after that, I mean, when basically, I think like this is like the same approach where what we're doing when we're creating a dashboard, a business dashboard, I don't know, like marketing, like a website, sales campaign or something. So we're using kind of the same approach. So we can do something like a status of indicator, status bar. So where we're gonna do like all the aggregated numbers based on the specific period. So in this case, we just took like the period from the beginning of the pandemic in this case. And when we start getting like all the tests, that's and we're just putting all together. Yeah. What I can say is like, as you can see from this one, where the colors used here is more like, okay, what is good? In this case, vaccination is going to be green. What it's testing and others like grayish or blue. And what's bad, it's going to be red. So basically like deaths, criticals, and other like hospitalization. So it's something like that's really bad. Yeah. So that's how we're doing this. Yeah. About the features and how you can use this dashboard. So the idea was that, okay, even if I have all the data collectively and aggregated here, so sometimes I would like to go and go back in time and check what's going on with at specific date and time. So this is interactive kind of slider in time. So basically, if you select that one, you can see the other charts are like getting grayish colored, yeah, showing you, okay, this is the situation on 28th of March 2021, and this is, and also like all the status on top is also changed based on that specific place and time. So what I'm using here is like a parameter that's taking the date and using as a filter for most of the views here. Also, we're using here, as you can see, like it's grouped by tree. So this is, again, our parameters that's changing the data you can see on this views. So dynamically, so it's selecting specific measure and based on the selection. Yeah, some of the views are like not really showing correct, but it's not correct. I mean, it's showing different slice of data. So basically, in this case, you can see this one of the feature that you can use on your dashboard. So the parameter action for the timeline. You can use the dynamic parameters for your chart. And also, as you can see, because we didn't have any information about that, for example, like for the vaccine for almost 1 year, yeah. So we need to go and fix the axis. Yeah. So basically, all these views, they're gonna start. I'm just gonna do it full screen. So it's gonna start at this in the same time. Yeah, because we need to synchronize. So one of the features is like, okay, how we can synchronize them. So this is how, and also uh, we can do this. As you can see, the reference line, it's kind of following all three views. So this feature also you can implement in your dashboards using a specific parameter to make sure that you're selecting the same date over like different views. This one is still like I'm using a highlight action. So basically, if you're hovering over a specific point in time into a specific view, so you can see what was going on with the other numbers. So this is also like a good practice when you have like multiple measures, multiple data, and you want to check, okay, what was going on at specific point in time. So you're hovering, and you can see, okay, this is the situation at that point in time. Yeah, and also usually every time when we're doing some kind of like a sales marketing or other interactive dashboard, so we're using okay, what is the status, and also we're using what was the difference, you know, in between those previous periods, you know, and you're checking what was going on like day by day, month by month, and so on. And also we're using the delta change, you know, like deltas, which one is like, if it's bad, it's red, if it's good, it's green, and so on. So you can see like a full picture of what's going on into one a specific point in time. Also, as you can see, we're using the filter. Actually, you can see this filter it's automated. So basically, once the data it's populated and refreshed, so this one we're going to be the biggest the maximum date. So you can go to the dashboard and check how this parameter is created, and you see the current value, and you see the calculation who's triggering that update and from which field. Yeah. So basically, a lot of time we have this automated and interactive dashboard that's updated on a daily basis. So we don't need anyone to go and check. So we just need to make sure that it's selected the maximum date, the maximum week, maximum month. So this is how we can achieve that by this parameter. Also, we're using, in most of the dashboards, we're using like maps and so on. So in this case, as you can see, we're using map. If we're checking the total, for a specific province, so how we can click on that specific province, and we check to check what's going on with the rest of the data. So as you can see, I'm clicking on the specific province, everything's changing. So because, for example, like I'm from Ontario, and I'm clicking on Ontario, and I want to see, okay, what's going on with the numbers and how many deaths and vaccinations and how is this going. And also this one was like mostly like created, like if you see, this is a ranking bar chart. So we're ranking the provinces, how these provinces are ranking based on the selection that we're doing. So this is also like an interesting stuff, because you want to see on a map and on a bar chart. So you want to see a specific number. So you can click and select by the specific indicators. Okay, what is going on this map? Who's first? Who's second? In case of that, who's first is bad. Positive cases, vaccinations per period and for people, and so on and so on. Yeah. So basically, if just to kind of finalize this, what are the takeaways from this one? So you're using Google Sheets that is automated and refreshed by Tableau. So I can show you how is this looking on this one. So this is the live dashboard on the Tableau Public. If you scroll down, so you're going to be seeing when this report was updated last time. So basically, from my experience, what I can see, it's updated on the 5 p.m. This is the Toronto time. If you want to update it straight away, So you can click on request data refresh. But again, this number, just to keep in mind, this number it's reflected to July 22. It's kind of like yesterday till 5 o'clock, yeah. And just to finalize it, I mean, when you look at the dashboard, so what are the takeaways that you can take and apply for almost like all the dashboards you're using? So how you can create like this status bar, how you can create the time slider. So basically, the best way to do this is just to go. You can download the dashboard from the Tableau Public and try to click and slice and dice and see what's going on. How this dynamic parameters are applied here, how this feature of data animation that Tableau is using as well. Also, like how we can synchronize the charts, because we need to make sure that all the charts are starting and having the same timeline and the start and the end date. The reference line, how you can synchronize them over like multiple charts and for them to look like seamlessly. Yeah. Also, you can take this the idea of how we can build this like this squares of like in point in time, you know, just to show how it's the delta going back and forth. Yeah, the ranking as well, because you're changing this indication selector. So and the map and how we can click on the map and how we can do this all these interactions. So basically, this you can do like a screenshot and try to look after in the dashboard and see how it can apply to your example. Okay. So this is one of the dashboard that I wanted to show you today. I don't know. Should I jump to the next one? And the question is going to be after, yeah.
Yes, keep going, Adrian.
Okay, yeah. So this is the second one. I'm gonna just keep it short for this one. So the idea was that I don't know if you guys are using or I don't know, like doing the Makeover Monday. So I'm a huge fan of the Makeover Monday. So mostly all the weeks I have already completed. So for one of the, I mean, for the week 11. So I was like thinking how we can build something that's customized, you know, or how we can build something that's going to be like a more like a adapted to what they want. So I would say like how you can build like a custom visual, yeah, or how you can draw it the way you want it, you know. So the idea was that in this case we have like crops from different continents, and I wanted to show how I can build like a tree or a plant, and each ramification and the ending of this plant would be a specific category and and how it's called, like this group, and also like a specific plant, or like I don't know, like for example, like in this case, like sugarcane or so on. So and how we can compare them in between different continents. So the idea was that you're building kind of like the same plant, the same crop, and you can comparing them with others. So the interaction here is going to be, so for example, like if we're looking for the production point of view for different continents, so we can see like which one are bigger. Yeah. So if we're scrolling over this one, and this is going to be America, so it's like sugar cane. So we can click on this one, and we can check how on the other like other continents this sugar cane is growing. Yeah. And you can click again and see how is this interacted. Yeah. Also, you can say like the area, how many, what's the biggest area of harvesting. So, you know, like in America, it's like soybeans. You click on the soybeans, and you can see how this is looking for the other continents. Yeah. How did I build this one, and where you can apply this? Because I mean, I think that's the biggest question, and you can use this basically when you wanted to construct something like a complex schema, of when you have like different hierarchies and you wanted to go like a different places and show the differences, you know, and it's sometimes it's not really programmatically and or calculatably, you know, and from the Tableau point of view. So you have to do it like kind of manually. So the approach of this one is that, as you can see, one of this three. So I'm going to show how I did it in Excel. So how this is starting. So basically, I'm just thinking, okay, this is how kind of like my tree is going to be looking like. So I try to draw it like nice and somehow in Excel. So this is the how many ramifications going to be. So it's like 12 ramifications. How many I mean, this is going to be like 12 branches, I would say. And this is like how many ramification each is going to have. Yeah. And after that, I split every single part to be drawn, you know, so I can see it's like 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So if I'm drawing here, I'm just going to this 3, 1, for example. So what it's in order to draw it in Tableau, so you need to have like some kind of like axis for X and Y. So this is the axis for X and Y in this case. So it's going to be like the coordinates of each dot. As you can see, if I'm clicking on one of these dots, so I know which is going to give me the intersection here and which is going to give me the intersection here. Yeah. And also I'm kind of using a point. Okay, this is the X and Y. And for each dot, I'm using like where this dot is starting and where this dot is ending. So it's using like order 1 and 2 and so on. So it's looking complicated, but it's not that complicated when you're kind of like building this like step by step. So you can see like this one. So I'm using like hierarchies. I'm using like, okay, so this is the first, the third, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on. So, and everything it's based on 2 kind of rows of data, like where this point is started and where this basically you're drawing lines as well. Yeah. But let me show you how this is looking on the dashboard. So just a second. Actually, I mean, I'm not going to stop here and show you like too much, because as you can see on the dashboard as well, we have this how to. So you can click on this link and it's going to give you, drop you to that Wizard Panday website blog. So actually, they asked me to provide like a very detailed way of doing that. So you can go to this one, you can check every single step, how it's created. And you can see like for every single step, how is this done and so on. And basically, if you have any kind of like struggling and questions, you can ask me. But I mean, in fact, it's not that complicated, but the process is that you're taking from smaller pieces, and after that you're building like a bigger one. So basically, I think it's like took me like 2 or 3 evenings just to draw this in Excel. Yeah. So yeah, I mean this, but also like you can use it whatever to draw whatever ramifications you wanted, and I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, this is, and also like you can see like there's like some kind of help, how and what this each branch is considered of, you know, and you can check the dashboard as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. There's like a lot of other dashboards here on my Tableau Public, so you can check whatever you like it. Usually I'm using this for fun here, so I don't really have too many like serious charts here, because this is like when you kind of like boost your creativity more, you know. Okay.
Thank you, Adrian. This was a fantastic presentation. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the biggest crops, I'll kick it around. I don't know about you guys, but thank you, Adrian.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, yeah. Usually, I mean, everyone who's asking me for help, so I'm helping everyone. So feel free to contact me, ask me. Oh, I'm glad to help everyone.
So we have a couple of questions that did come in earlier. But before jumping into that, I wanted to ask, about the shape files. Roland asked this question before, but I don't know whether you have any answer off the top of your
Okay.
head. There are a bunch of shape files for several regions on a map layer. The team has tried to map customers to the same map. Is there a way to make the shape files turn into groups so that we can count the customers in shapes?
Oh, you asking me one in one of my examples, or this is just general?
This is just a general question. If
Oh,
you didn't know something like that, I've been searching Google all over the place. I just can't seem to find it. But looking if you knew anything offhand that you might be able to forward me to.
Right. I'm seeing there
yeah.
is
I mean, usually, I mean, how the shape files are working. So you just go into the repository and you just add those files in there into the shape file, and after that you're loading them. Basically, the relationship is going to one. So whatever you have on that view, and you can identify, for example, like you have like a shape 1, shape 2, shape 10, and you have the same name in the file. So even if you're using like hierarchy, so I would say like you can use something like hierarchy 1 shape, and in the other place, but you need to have that as well in the data. See, so I think I was using some kind of like, you see like shapes here in this file. I think it was for the, let me just, I'm gonna use my dashboards. So this is for the flags or something, you know? So it's dynamic. So whatever you click on other like chart or other country, so it's gonna give you like that specific, you see, the flag for that specific country.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a little bit different, but we could take that.
But anyway, if you have that one, you can ask me, or you can go to the Tableau community. So I'm kind of like every evening I'm there and just trying to help other people. So yeah.
Okay, we have a couple questions in the Q&A, and Winnie just posted one in the chat, but so I'll just transfer that over to Q&A. But so first of all, just for anybody who's not following along in chat, just Alvin asked where you can get access to Adrian's workbooks. And I think Adrian's shown his Tableau Public page several times. So what you do is you go to Adrian's Tableau Public page, and you go to whichever dashboard. Like there's a lot of beautiful dashboards. Adrian is being very modest here. He regularly participates in a lot of community events, Makeover Monday and Visitor Social Good. And this COVID dashboard was actually featured by Tableau on a Haley Wickenheiser talk.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if you knew that or not, but you go to his Tableau Public page, and then when you open up his one of his views, there's a little thing in the bottom right hand corner where you can download the workbook.
Yeah, that's the new view of Tableau Public for a few days, I would say, like 1 week. But it's that download button in the corner. Yeah.
So he's showing you now. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So,
so that's how you get
all my dashboards are absolutely, I mean, downloadable. So
yeah. So if you want to, figure out what he's done or have a peek at it, you can go to his Tableau Public page or follow him on Tableau Public. And so the next question is Adrian, beautiful job on the COVID dashboard and great creativity on the trees. Great data, ink ratio, and really smart way to use the time slider. Question, did you consider adding the PowerPoint slide as an image in a hidden container as quote unquote instructions?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Or I guess he's just wondering if you've used that technique before.
Oh yeah, I can put it somewhere in the corner and just click on that one, and it's gonna show you.
Yeah. And there's one more in the chart, in the chat. And maybe you can just, this is she's just when I get done. Winnie says, I have a very basic Tableau question related to permission. So maybe if you could just flip over to one of your workbooks and we can just show her. I'm a desktop user now, and I've built some dashboards in a desktop. How do I publish them to Tableau server? So maybe you could just show her how you publish to Tableau Public, and where that is. And then from there, she just has to get to her server authorizations,
Mhm.
if you don't mind.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just a quick
Yeah,
question,
definitely.
not really related to your
So
dashboards, but
yeah, but again, I think like the question was more like for the Tableau desktop, Usually it's like a slightly different story here, because you see Tableau Public doesn't have this, sorry, I forgot to click the button share. Can you see my screen?
yes.
Yeah. So basically, you see in Tableau Public, we don't have this menu called server, because we need to sign into the Tableau server, But the Tableau Public, because that's the idea of Tableau Public, it's that you cannot really save the workbook on your laptop. I mean, when you download it, so Tableau will gonna check if this workbook is coming from the Tableau server, I mean public server, and it will allow you to open it into your Tableau Public, yeah. But here you don't have this. But usually, I mean, when you have a Tableau desktop and you want to connect to your kind of internal server, so there should be a button server, and you click sign in, and you need to put that specific server name, and it should allow you to go in, or just you're going to go through kind of like a username password approval session. But basically here, the simplest way is just if I'm just saving, so I'm just saving, and because it's Tableau Public, it should publish it right away into my, as you can see, it's like saving workbook to Tableau Public, because as soon as you're opening this one into your Tableau Public, so you cannot save it on your local dashboard, I mean local folder. So it's gonna save right now, and this is already saved. And because it's the same name, so it's gonna be overwritten to the previous one. And yeah, and it's here. So this is already the new one. Yeah. Okay, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, so just in case you're wondering, Winnie, it's the tab is, yeah, there it is. See, there you go. So there's a server tab in your upper menu, and then you would sign into your server, or you can post to Tableau Public from there. It's the same. It's the same motion. Yeah.
Yeah, just that one is kind of like tricky, because if you're using that for work and you're using for Tableau Public, you might forget about that and you publish something on a public, and it's not really good idea. But Tableau Public, you just keep it for your personal laptop.
Yeah. So the Tableau Public is free. You don't need a separate license, Winnie, which she posted. And but if your company has server or online, you'll need access. Like if you have a desktop license, then you would have access if your company has online. But if it's server, then you might need access. I'm not.
Yeah, right. Just only one difference is, like, I think it's like one of the latest version of Tableau Public is that, for example, like if you're going to go and check for other like previous version of Tableau Public, you cannot find them. So because the interconnection in between the latest version of Tableau Public and Tableau Public itself, like the portal, so it's so big that they're kind of like advising you to upgrade as soon as possible, So if your Tableau desktop is kind of old, it might allow you just to publish it, but some of the feature might not work, or like font sizes or something like this.
Yeah, that's another really good point. Like just you want to use you want to be sure that your company's fonts are supported in your server environment, but usually your company will have standards like that. You can ask your Tableau people at work. So just another clarification too. So a couple of people have posted Adrian's Tableau Public site in the chat. So if you guys want to grab it from there, it's sitting there right now. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Adrian. Just posted it again. That's perfect. Yeah. So that's awesome. So if you guys want to, the link directly to his Tableau Public page, I assure you there is loads of really super creative stuff there that you will love. But before I let you go, I want to ask you a question. Sorry, Ojo, I know you have the agenda up there, but so you might want to let Adrian post it again. But I like, what inspires you? So if you sit down with a data set, like like, how do you, like, what's your creative process start like where do you go from like, how do you go from like a data set to like the great stuff that you do?
Usually, I mean, it's I'm kind of like tend to because of the Tableau Public, actually, you know. Usually, I'm like scrolling a lot and seeing and watching everyone from the Twitter, you know, like LinkedIn, and seeing all these dashboards and usually like a combination of my historical views of those ones. It's kind of triggering me to kind of like check how we can do something better. But also, I would say like what's differentiating me from like other people is that I'm always like thinking, okay, how I can do something crazy that I cannot think how it's possible to be done in Tableau right now. No, so I'm thinking like of a complex thing, and after that I was like, oh, okay, that's a good stuff. And if it's I cannot see right now how to do it, so that's how I'm just start thinking, okay, how I can do that in Tableau, you know. And that's when you start learning more in Tableau, because when you're doing something really complex. But also like this is kind of more like for example, like when you're participating in something like Iron Viz, you know. And also you can see that the Iron Viz is somewhere starting like spring, beginning of summer. Basically, it's kind of showing you, okay, we have a new version of Tableau. Can you just try to learn the new tips and tricks and features that Tableau already improved, you know? So that's kind of the idea, that how we can use like the new features as well. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
And also like, if I can add just,
yeah,
I'm also like looking into, I don't know, Pinterest, if somebody's looking at that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really interesting.
It's a lot. There's like a lot of things. So there's like a couple of designers actually from this Adobe world, you know, and the other things. They create like some very nice and interesting visuals. So this one, like for the crops one, I was using like, if you know this Federica Fragapane, like an Italian designer. So she's like amazing. So I was like trying, okay, how I can do that, but slightly different, but with Tableau. So usually like, yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah. So you get, you know, you just kind of like get inspiration from all over, like.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so Krishna has a question about upgrading Tableau server. So I guess that's probably something you probably should talk to like either your Tableau person or talk to like within your company, I guess.
Internal
Tableau
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Or throw it out in the forums and see. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us would say all the time, because otherwise you miss the good stuff.
Oh my God, it's there's so much things right now happening with the Tableau service. You know, everyone's going to kind of like the cloud technologies. They want to install it like some virtual machines. They want to do some APIs, and there's like tons of approaches. You know, and also like there a lot of people are just having issues where, for example, like installing from the scratch, or just upgrading something, or you have something that hasn't been updated for the past 1 year and you're having issue with that. So there's like a lot of things going on, but yeah, it's very much depending on the approach of that specific company, you know. So
what's your favorite new feature in Tableau?
I don't know. It's there's like I wouldn't say like too many of them. It's but I would say like the automation, the animation, I would say.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
But
yeah.
it's one thing when you're designing something like this animation on your desktop and you're publishing on the public server, and it's just like, oh shoot, it's slow, oh it's not working. But it's it's like, yeah, that's free, so we need to find like a common sense in this. But the animation, of course, and but overall, like the all this new functionality and you feel like this new feature that's coming in, and you're just like, okay. But it's it's also like it's a good way, but because when you're working with different companies and different type of connections, and you just go into something and just like, oh, so good that we have this connection, or this connection has been improved, but so far I would say like one of like the best feature I like in Tableau is like the set action,
Yeah.
and when you can use the set as a filter, and it
Mhm.
was like an issue in 2020.3, and I was waiting for 2020.4 that you're using the filter because it's working on your desktop, but it's not working on Tableau server. So it's like 2024 and now and newer. So it's much better. But basically, I mean, what I'm doing usually. So even now on my laptop, I have like the latest version of Tableau Public, and I have the 2021.3 already installed. So I'm usually, because I'm as a part of the group of the developers of Tableau, so I'm receiving this pre-release as even a free license and so on. So I'm using that one. So sometimes I'm just like trying to see, okay, what are the new features, and I'm testing them because I need to give feedback. If it's something not working, so I'm giving feedback back to Tableau. But also like already I'm just kind of thinking, okay, what's going to happen in the future? How is this going to be moving? And what are like the main things that we're kind of expecting from Tableau? Yeah. And also like on Tableau community, there's like a lot of great ideas. So in the idea section, so you can check and see what actually it's going to make your life much easier, like for example, like data scaffolding. So it's a thing that everyone's waiting for them, or just like where you want to have like something like a multi-values parameter, to be used. So yeah, it's increasing complexity, but everyone's waiting for these features, and Tableau, I think it's doing a great job and making sure that it's more and more that what people want. Yeah.
And one more question, sorry, Ojo.
Yep.
I noticed you used a lot of parameter actions, right, in the COVID dashboard, or you used some? Like you definitely used the date one, right?
Yeah, just date.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
I
but
find that's pretty handy.
Yeah, we're using like the best
parameters.
approach, I would say. So in that case, it was like the parameter action, because when you click, the parameter will get that value of that click, of the red button, of the red dot, I would say, and you just make a filter for those views that you want it to be filtered, and that's how you can move back in time and see, well, okay, what's going on there.
Right. Yeah.
But this is kind of like, I would say like all these features from this dashboard, so can apply like, I don't know, like 95% of other dashboards that everyone's building. And they are kind of like, forget about that, So instead of interactions with the map or the other like selectors, so people tend to use a lot of filters, which is not really good, when you have a filter, so you don't have visibility of that specific slice of data. But it's better just to plot it and just click and see that specific interaction.
Yeah. Your dashboards have a lot of interactivity with them that way, like to, so you can, kind of interact with it in the flow, as opposed to like having to go to a filter and pick which is awesome. Yeah.
But
okay,
not too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too many. It's still like not a good idea.
Yeah. So, and last call for questions. Anybody has any questions for Adrian on like how we created the dashboards, or can updates for data connections to external data sources be made seamlessly without involving driver installations? Updates for data connections to external.
Yeah, I see what it is. It's sometimes, for example, like you're installing something and you cannot use a connection, but you need to install all this ODBC drivers, specific versions, or if it's coming as a package with Tableau, so sometimes you need to downgrade like something like 32 bits or 62 bits, 64 bits, sorry. So it's going a lot of back and forth. I can say like, but IT admin access privilege, that one you cannot just remove from the equation. because the access is something that you need to have everywhere. So even like, for example, like if you're connecting to a SharePoint list, so again, it's what exactly you want to achieve from that SharePoint list. So you just have a list of the metadata that you have on that specific SharePoint list, or you want to access a file that's on a SharePoint list, or Excel file or text file. So it's different approaches, but there's also like everything is interconnected with the security inside of that specific company, and also like because also like the Tableau dashboard that's on your laptop, it's not the Tableau dashboard that's going to be on the Tableau server, because everything is depending. If your Tableau server is on premises, so inside of your network, so it's a different story. But if it's somewhere in the cloud and you have like some like additional security layers, and you need to access that, and maybe when you publish the dashboard, they will not have the access to that specific SharePoint. So yeah, I would say like it involves a lot of like back and forth and checking with the IT teams, but it's but seamlessly, yeah. I mean, usually when you're already connected, so and you can do it like automatically, but it's a lot of like testing. So I would say like it's definitely reasonable. I mean, and you can check them, you can test it, but yeah, I mean, seamlessly in my understanding, it should be something that updated behind the scene and you don't really touch it, yeah. But usually, I mean, for the most and the best connections that Tableau is working with and adding, so they usually add like for those type of connections that's like mostly used, and you don't have any issues with that. But if it's something like very or you have a like older SharePoint or older like ODBC, and you should use that one. But also, I mean, if you can connect it, you can test it on your Tableau server. It's working, okay. If it's not working, then you need to go with your IT team and check. Okay.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Adrian. I think we should probably wrap this up, I guess, because we promised everybody we'd keep it to like a lunch hour thing, but
okay.
Like definitely super inspired by your dashboards and like all of your great ideas. People should definitely follow you on Tableau Public for tons more inspiration when they're doing, when they want to build a dashboard. So excellent.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. So we can all follow each other and get inspiration, and he is a great source.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I'll pass back. I guess I'll pass back to Ojo.
Thank you, Candy, for handling the questions. Roland, Adrian, for this fantastic presentation. This wouldn't have been possible without the behind-the-scenes work that we have been doing for so long and the tech checks we have had with Adrian before. So what a winner. I'm a big fan of Adrian's work myself. I kick around his work and that inspires me constantly over the years. He's our favorite. Without much ado, let me go ahead with the announcements. Would you like to share anything, Roland, before I went into that, or Candy, about the call for our leaders in the upcoming January 2022 TUG leadership? There's some kind of a change. We want to try inject new data fam into the leadership team and see how it goes. So that is one of the major announcements that we wanted to, and this is going to happen over some time. And we are always open for new speakers. This community is about you, the data fam. Do send us our interest. And if you want to know how to find us, then then we have our splash page. When you subscribe to our splash page, you get to see our handle. And if you needed links, I can put it up in the chat later. So thank you again for making time. Roland, Candy, anything you want to add? Anything that I missed?
Yeah, I would just mention that the call for additional people to come in and help lead the group. I think that's a great idea. It's always good to get new blood in there. I'm new this year, and we'll have a couple members that will be passing the torch. Who they pass the torch to, I don't know, but Candace and Ojo and Catherine, who's not on this call, have done an amazing job for the last little while, and it's been a pleasure working with them. But we're looking to add new faces, and the three of you are looking to do different things, which is great. We do hope that you still join us, and I will be calling upon you for help, obviously, as well as perhaps future speaking engagements. So, and that goes to anyone and everyone. If you do, or you are interested in speaking at TUG in either, in the near future or later in the future, do reach out to us, subscribe, or reach out to us on the Toronto TUG Twitter group. So it's hashtag Toronto TUG. You can reach out to me there. I'm moderating that Twitter handle. The next TUG is September 24th. Also, it's going to be virtual again, and really looking forward to that one. And there's one other event that's happening. I'm not sure if you mentioned it, if it's on this page or not, but there's a process, or there's an attempt to try to bring all the local cross Canada Tableau user groups together for one big giant Tableau user group. And that's planned for later this year, closer to the Tableau conference. So we're really looking forward to meeting not just people from the Toronto group, but from all over Canada. That's all I have to say right now. Back to you, Ojo, or Candy.
Yeah, I'll just quickly add, like the Toronto TUG's a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity if anybody wants to jump in and help us out. Like a lot of things are, we've worked together, worked out quite a few of the bugs, so to speak. So it's a good time to jump in. Lots of people are coming forward with some great content to present, like Adrian did today. We'd love lots of community involvement. So I would love to hear from you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for making time. I know this is supposed to be a lunch meeting, lunch and learn sort of fashion. Thanks for closing all the open ends, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Candy, Rob, Roland, Alyssa, Adrian, thank you so much. I want to officially close today's session, and have a fantastic rest of the day and a beautiful weekend ahead. Enjoy your summers, and we'll see you next time. Stay in touch. Peace and love.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.